if you are over 40 and you're looking for that way to recreate yourself or to reinvent yourself in your life, this video is for you. So, first of all, reinventing your life is not about changing yourself into someone new. It is about bringing forth that person inside of you that has always been there. But we're bringing her forth unapologetically. So, what happens is after you hit 40, other people's opinion about you doesn't carry as much weight. Now, I'm not going to say that you're going to stop caring about how other people feel about you or even how they view you in your life. What I'm saying is that you will find it doesn't carry as much weight. And there is a difference. I'm going to always hear what other people think about me, but when it comes to what I do with that information is way different now at 48 than it might have been at 38, 28, and even 18. So with that being said, let's get into the 10 questions that's going to help you as far as reinventing your life if you're looking for a place to start. Question number 1, what do I really want in this next chapter, this new year of my life? A lot of times we know we want change or society expects us to change, especially when you hit 40 and beyond. You know, people have certain expectations of us, but I want you to throw that out the window and start thinking about what do I desire? So ask that question. Pens and papers ready? Class is now in session. So ask yourself that question. Don't overthink. Just write. Just write the answer. What do I desire? Question number 2. What am I no longer willing to tolerate? What am I no longer willing to tolerate? Whether it's toxic relationships, self doubt, lack of productivity, low self esteem, neglecting yourself, it is time that you draw the line in the sand. Or, maybe it's a Southern thing, but when we were younger and, you wanted, let's say you were getting into a fight with somebody or y'all were about to fight or whatever, and you better not cross this line. Leave in the comments if that's one of your childhood or younger adulthood memories as well. But these are the things you want to think about. What things in your life better not cross this line, and list them? Because what we're doing is creating a list that's going to help us in reinventing our life and ourself. 3, what brings me joy? What makes me happy? What makes me smile and laugh like a schoolgirl? And this is a 2-part question. How can I do more of it? For me, it is more writing. More writing. Writing brings me joy. I could escape to a world, I could create it. Like, writing is one of my true, deep down and dirty, what I would do for free passions. But for you, that may be cooking, that may be playing volleyball, that may be whatever it is. So think about your hobbies, things you are passionate about. I'm passionate about advocating for kids. That brings me joy. So how can I do more of that in 2025? Things that make you feel alive, make you feel like I am adding value to not only my life, but the lives of others. One thing about hobbies and things you create, they live longer than you. I have writings from my mom, which is something she enjoyed. And here it is more than 30 years after she's been gone, I get to enjoy reading something she created. And at that time she was writing those things, she wasn't thinking about me. She was thinking about doing something she enjoyed. So you could think about it like that. Number 4, how do I want to feel every day? How do I want to feel every day? Do you want to feel more energized? Do you want to feel more confident? Do you want to feel more at peace? How do you want to feel every day? Design your life around how do you want to feel. For instance, if you say, I want to feel more at peace every day. So, what brings you peace and how can you incorporate that every day into your life? So, think about that. Number 5, this is a biggie. What limiting beliefs have held me back and how can I let them go? Now, I'm going to be honest. Come close. One of my limiting beliefs is that I need to be perfect in whatever I create. I had to let that go. I'm still working on it. That's an everyday process of letting go limiting beliefs, especially because you may have had those limiting beliefs longer than you have been confident in who you are or who you're growing to be. And this is true for me. There was a very toxic man, just side story, a very toxic man that my mother was involved with when I was very young. And because I am very much, I look like my dad, I have a lot of his mannerisms and those things. This man who loved my mother and loved my baby sister could not stand me. And I was a kid. So his mission in life was to remind me every day that I was not worthy. And there are toxic people like that, right? So he did used to call me like stupid and fat and different things like that, that as a kid and as an adult, I'm very smart, very analytical, and I wasn't a fat kid. But those limiting, toxic, stalling beliefs ingrained in me before I even knew what self esteem was. And for a good amount of years, longer than they were actually together, that his limiting belief became mine. I internalized it. So I felt like I had to be perfect so people don't look at me like I'm stupid or look at me in a certain way. And I'm sure many of you guys could relate to that. So we have to get rid of those limiting beliefs, realize what they are, and then figure out how you could let them go. The number one way to let them go is to say, that's not true. Whatever. So insert limiting belief here and then say this, that's not true. So let's move on. Number 6, who do I need to surround myself with to support my growth? Most of the time we get comfortable with particular people, and that's fine and good. Comfort is a good thing, but growth requires challenge and change, and neither are comfortable. So that means that you may need to go outside of your comfort zone and start finding a new circle of people that can inspire you, uplift you, and challenge you. Number one, if it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. And that's what we're doing in 2020, 2025. I want to deal with people that challenge me, whether it's holding me accountable or whether it's inspiring me to be more consistent or to do things a different way. Challenge me. So ask yourself, are you surrounded by people that challenge you? And I'm not going to say get rid of the people that don't. I'm saying incorporate people that challenge you to be your best self, whatever that looks like. And number 7, how can I prioritize my health and well being without guilt? As a mom, as a wife, as a sister, as a aunt, as so many roles that we have as women, we tend to start feeling guilty when something is just about us, when it's just about me, when it's just about you. How dare you take time to do something for yourself? You hear that sometimes in your head? I know I do. So, this is the thing, wellness and taking care of yourself is not a luxury. It is not for the housewives of whatever in the hell city. It is a requirement if you want to live the next however many years. So, whatever your age is, times it by 2. If you want to live much longer in a better state, better health, better mental well being, better financially, all the betters, realize that you have to incorporate you in this. No longer me second. There's a saying I like that says, saying me first is or me too or something like that. Basically saying like taking care of me doesn't mean I take less care of you. Like I'm incorporating me first because that's how everything else around you operate. So taking care of you is better for all the people that you're around. You can't pour from an empty cup or a dirty cup. So let me get off that high horse. 8, what would I do if I wasn't afraid? Fear gets a whole hell of a lot of credit. A lot of times we maneuver and do certain things based off of what we're afraid of. So you could do this several ways. You could write down all those things that you're afraid of and then ask yourself, if I wasn't afraid of this, I would do this. So that's a good fill in the blank. If I wasn't afraid of perfection, I would write more books. If I wasn't afraid of whatever. So that's how you figure that part out. Okay. So whether it's fear of failure, you have to fail your way to success. And I hate that saying, but sometimes the things that the sayings you hate, it's because it hits you. So if you have to fail your way to success and your goal is to be successful, plan on failing. Know it's coming and don't take it personal. It's part of the process. Are you afraid of judgment? Are you afraid of the unknown? So imagine if those weren't obstacles. Now I'm going to tell you guys something really quick, side story. I have, if you notice in some of the videos, if you go on my page or any videos I've done over the years, you may notice my new jewelry. Guess what? I don't have my nose pierced, but I wanted to change up my look and different things that I like. And I've always liked nose piercings. However, I do not like the process of piercing. And what kept me from even wearing a little fake piercing on my nose or whatever was, what would people think? Valencia, you're too old to do X, Y, and Z. And I finally had to say, guess what? I don't care. I like how I look sometimes. So I had to not care about people's judgment to try something that, quite frankly, I like. I like it. So that's something to think about. So, yes, in some videos, you will see some sort of nose candy, and in others, you may not. That depends on how Valencia feels that day. And that's what you have to think about. We're talking about reinventing you and whatever that means to you and for you. Number 9, what daily habits will help you step into your new identity? Small actions, small steps create the big change that you're looking for, the big aha moment. So, what can you commit to doing daily? That may be getting up 30 minutes earlier, staying up 30 minutes later. That may be picking up your phone to do a video. That may be getting on your treadmill for 5 minutes every day. Maybe you can't promise 30, but maybe you could start with, okay, I'm going to do 5 minutes every day. What can you do every day to help you step towards your new reinvented version of you? Number 10, what legacy do you want to create in this stage of your life? How do you want to be remembered? What impact do you want to make? For me, with my writing, something that I know that's going to outlive me. It's an open, honest reflection because I want to change the way people look at kids that grew up the way I did. So I openly and honestly poured out my experience growing up, how that affected me, and the things that changed me into who I am today. And that wasn't necessarily for me, but it was for the kids who grew up like me and, with a parent that have drug addiction issues. I didn't like being judged because of things that had nothing to do with me. And I wanted to change the lives of kids that grew up like that and help them realize that you could go from A to Z. That's the legacy that I want to leave. So when you think about how do you want to be remembered and what impact do you want to have on not just your life, but the life of others? And that doesn't mean you have to write a book or create art or whatever. Just by being you, somebody is watching you, and you will change somebody else's life just by being the true, better, authentic version of you. These questions are your blueprint to start with that reinvention process. The answers that you provide will guide you to your next steps and help you build a life that is true to who you are. So, what questions resonated with you the most? I know if I look over the 10 questions, what am I no longer willing to tolerate is the one that plays over and over in my mind. Because not only does that one have to do with other people, It have to do with me. I am tired of breaking promises to myself of what I'm going to do. So, with that being said, drop in the comments the question that is your replay question.